Good morning, Scott here. Hope you're well. So this is a bit of a busy week with news, and it looks like a lot of traders were kind of sitting on the sidelines a bit because the big US CPI figures were out last night, and they were better than expected, as in lower numbers. So they obviously had a big effect on the US dollar, and people were probably waiting for that news. Hopefully we get a bit of a clearer run today. There's a few things to talk about. Obviously the dollar move is one of them, and it's affected a few other currencies as well. The yen has found some strength. The Aussie has found some strength. Bit of a mixed bag all over. But let's see what I've got. I'll show you what I've got and see if you concur. So there's quite a lot here. So I will try and make fair pace. Okay, start with Aussie CAD. Big bullish move yesterday. Looked like it was stalling, and then we had another bullish move. So there's lots of momentum to the upside. And we go down to the hourly chart, where you can see that we have rejection of this trend line yesterday, and it just shot off on the news. So obviously when the news happened, this big bar here, and now we can expect some sort of positive momentum. Back in the daily chart, just double check there how overbought it is. It's very overbought. It's just touching that red territory again. So maybe there's no MACD divergence. So it's momentum still to the upside, but it's very overbought. So just bear that in mind. And here we can have a nice little pitch snatcher that will play out today. We check the MACD. MACD is recharged and ready to go. Is it higher? Pretty close, maybe slightly higher after this one, but recharged. So a good chance that the pip snatcher will be on for today. Trend lines. The pip snatcher, not really. This one here isn't really going to be a play, I don't think. Wait for the 1 hour 50 to catch up. It's already at the pivot, so not best timing. But this is all happening on the low volume hours. I'm recording this pretty early in the day, the trading day. So yeah, just keep an eye on that one. Maybe it'll just come down to the 1 hour 50 during last week and give the option for pip snatcher long. Aussie yen. So Aussie yen, we've got Aussie strength, and we've got yen strength as well. So we've got a nice little doji yesterday. So we're putting back to the daily 50, sitting on the day 20 right now, looking like he wants to go short. Actually, thinking about it, that could be a nice swing reversal. Swing power trend. The trend, is it down? We've got a double bottom here. Maybe not. Maybe that's a bit. Yeah, maybe not because of the double bottom. It's not really a downtrend anymore. It's more of a sideways consolidation. Okay, so back to the hourly chart. We're looking for some kind of down day. We've got a nice trend line, really nice trend line, and we're going to break that. We've just broken it just now. Pull down somewhere around the 4 hour 50, pull back to the 1 hour 50. That can give us a very nice IBO short, and I like that one because of the trend line. The trend line will be broken and probably retested. But it comes back up here, and then trading short. We'll trade through the 4 hour 50. So an IBOC, that'll have to happen just because it's so close. But if the end strength continues, then this you can trade this down to these lows, or these lows over here, or even these lows, even down to the lows this last run. So lots of potential there. So I'm liking that one a lot. Aussie dollar. Aussie dollar, we have an uptrend, mainly due to the dollar weakness from yesterday. But if that continues, is it overbought? Not really, overbought. Do a slight MACD, it looks like. Slight MACD on this last one, but the one hasn't finished. So it's not looking too good for a long trade, but it's looking good here for on the 1 hour chart. It's looking nice for an ACB long. or even perhaps just a pip snatcher might be the best option. Nice quick pip snatcher. Looking pretty similar in the setup. Pull back to the 1 hour, 4 hour 50 and going long again. So yes, that could be a nice one. Either an ACBB, an IBO in the direct, and with the 4 hour behind you, 4 hour 50 behind you, ACBB, or just a simple pitch snatcher. Could be an option there. Go to Swiss yen. There's lots of colour, so I'll try and speed up. Swiss yen, we've got still at the daily 50 and the daily 20, and reversal yesterday. So it's looking like that might continue. Going with the yen strength, we've been seeing in other pairs as well. And on the 1 hour chart, we have MACD's looking fantastic, ready to go. Everything looks good. The daily 20s will be in their stop zone as well, and the daily 50 will also be in there. So we're not going to get a CBO unless it pulls back down and pulls back later. But if it pulls back in extra hours, then that'll be setting up for a nice IBO, C, short. And the fibs line up okay. I've kind of trimmed that wick off just a little bit. That's a news event. That's probably not important, that wick. So I trimmed it off just a little bit. Also lines up with the pivot for the pip snatcher, but it can't be a pip snatcher because the 4 hour 50 we're trading straight through it. So an IBOC could be setting up very soon, or maybe later for a CBO. See how that one pans out. Euro Aussie. Euro Aussie, it's been consolidating, it's bouncing off of this trend line and also this resistance level, and it's going back down again now. We're into the daily 50. Maybe there's this trading short, and you see here we've got Elliott wave I noticed on here. So from this trend line break, wave 1, wave 2 pullback, wave 3, wave 4 pullback, wave 5 down to the daily 20, then an ABC correction, and then this looks like a wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, maybe wave 4, and this will be a wave 5. After that, this is a wave 1, this is a wave 2, and there'll be a massive wave 3 coming up. Either way, there's a possibility of a short trade into the daily 50, but just be aware that we're trading the daily 20-50 zone, so it might not be that. Some people don't want to trade in that zone at all, fair enough. Otherwise, there could be a 1.3% there, not really great reward risk. There may be better options out there, but that's one maybe you want to look at. Okay, pound yen, another yen pair, showing yen strength. Looking for some more strength today. There's the daily 50. And again, we've had rejection 4 hour 50, pulling back. This will hopefully be a complex pullback, A, B, and then a C pullback. And later on today, we'll get a Tesla 382, 1 hour 50, and you can trade that to daily 50. That's looking like okay trade there. Again, there's lots of choice with the yen, so pick the best one. Kiwi yen, again, rejection of a strong level and short yesterday, and looking like we're going short again today. A bit more room here, so this is looking a bit better, but the 1 hour price action is not looking that great. We had a kind of break and retest last night, not very convincing, and then pull back on the low volume hours today. Maybe we'll get a nicer break and a pullback later today with cleaner price action. Just keep an eye on that one, because there's plenty of room there for a nice trade to the daily 20 and the daily 50 if it sets up well. Just keep an eye on that one. Hopefully it will. Kiwi dollar, we're reaching this, it's very overbought, reaching this strong level. Overbought. Yeah, we're just into the really overbought level here, into the red, the 70 level. But maybe there's a bit more room. We've broken through this level here, which we're looking at these highs, which we've been stalling at before, and since we've broken through that. So maybe there's a bit more room to the upside. Again, we are overbought, so maybe you just want to do a quick pip snatcher, 1-to-1. Pips are here, or you could do an ACBB. ACBB would be here, actually, wouldn't it? So scrap the ACBB. We'll go for a quick 1-to-1 pip snatcher. And a pivot down there, and a quick 1-to-1. That could be a nice little trade. Dollar CAD. Dollar CAD. Dollar weakness yesterday, so dollar CAD it's going short. And today 2050 zone, nice rejection of this level. And what do we have here on the 1 hour? We have, anyway, it's a bit crazy, isn't it? Worry about that one. But we've got a breakdown here from the 1 hour. A little retest last night before the news, and it shot down through the 4-hour 50. So this is looking nice for a CBO. Pull back in 6 to 8 hours. Back to 4-hour 50, 1-hour 50 would have caught up. The disadvantage here to trading into the daily 2050 zone. So there's not much room to the daily 50. But it's almost 2%. So that's the CBO, we can trim the stop a little bit. So that's looking pretty good. Keep an eye on that one, that might set up nicely. Dollar Swiss. We have lots of bearish pressure. I haven't oversold yet. Not quite. It's getting there, but not quite. Bit of a MACD on here, perhaps. Moving slightly up while this has been trending sideways to down. But the big momentum yesterday from the dollar to the downside means that we do have, on the 1 hour chart here, we do have another ACBB or just a quick pitch snatcher. Pitch snatcher might be the way to go. This looks like it's going to be an ABC correction. A pullback B, then a further pullback to the 1 hour 50, in which case may pull back to 382. And then you can enter the pip snatcher as it passes through the pivot again. Now the pivot, once it's broken, may act as support on the way through and stop it breaking through. So we wait for the break to the downside and then enter the pip snatcher there, or you could do an ACBB short, which is a bit risky because it's pretty oversold on the daily. Dollar yen. Dollar yen, it's been messing around for quite a while, hasn't it? We thought it might pull back yesterday, but didn't quite get there. The news came out, and with the yen strength and the dollar weakness, we got a very bearish day yesterday. Looking for more bearish action today. And again, it's pulling back nicely for, probably won't be a CBO. The fibs don't really line up for that. Maybe an ACBB as it pulls back with 1 hour 50 catching up. Pull back here in a few hours' time. We might get an ACBB, and you can trade down to these lows. That could be an option there. So as you can see, nothing really is perfect there. They all have their own little nuances and little things that may stop you getting the trade, but there are some that might turn out quite well. So just keep an eye on those. A few more that might turn up later on today. I'll quickly go through those. Aussie Kiwi, we've been going sideways for a while. Aussie strength yesterday. So looking at the 1 hour chart, waiting for we've already broken the 1 hour 50, didn't go anywhere, so wait for it to break into 4 hour 50 and then get a CBO. Look for CBO there. CAD Swiss. Another one that's been on the way down quite strongly and then consolidating in the last few days. We need to see some proof of the change of direction. We've got a nice strong trend line here, which is good. When it breaks that trend line, pulls back to retest it with the 1 hour 50. That'll probably be over here somewhere. That could be a nice CBO. Oh, maybe even an IBO long. Maybe an IBO long, if not wait for the CBO. Euro CAD. Okay, still on this level. It hasn't quite started dropping yet, but it's still there. It's been there for 5 days, pretty much a week. Just sitting there going sideways. The ABO is not on for me anymore. It was looking pretty good yesterday, but had a break. That was great. Retest the line, great. But this break here, broke above this resistance level, so not happy with that. And it's actually now support, so maybe it's going to keep on going up. But should we get a break through the trend line and a retest of the trend line, we can have a trade IBO short if that does line up. Pound CAD. Still at the level as well, waiting for some positive bearish action to start. Swing trade is still possibly on, although it's day 20, daily 50 are catching up pretty fast, so the potential for profits there is diminishing. Very strong trend line. That channel needs to break. When it does break, it'll probably break very fast. Hopefully get a retest of the 1 hour 50 and an IBO short. And then we go for Kiwi CAD. Strong level here. It's been tested 1, 2, 3 times. looks quite bullish yesterday, but it never really broke that level. It closed on it. That's a very strong level from all these tests up here. And what do we have here? On the hourly, we have this pretty strong trend line again, so we need this to break. And it kind of did last night, but we can probably readjust this trend line now. Maybe not the best. Something there anyway. Something there's a trend line. We need to break that quite cleanly and pull back for an IBO short. Right, so there we go. There's lots of things that are looking reasonably good. A few little drawbacks, and many of them. Quite a few though, so pick the best ones. There's some more news around, so be wary of the news. There's FOMC tomorrow, but today should be reasonably clean. Apart from, we've got some Aussie news later, some Swiss news tonight, and some pound news. So be wary of those currencies during the news events. All right, then, I wish you all the best. Good luck in the markets. I'll speak to you tomorrow. See you.